This podcast was edited and uploaded by Uncle Geeb Productions. Hey guys, and welcome everyone to the Drip and Geeb podcast. I'm your host, Uncle Geeb, and with me is Host Your Media Gaming. We record this podcast live every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can listen to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, or anywhere you can find a podcast. You can also watch our video podcast over on youtube.com/DripGeeb. Drip, I don't know how the intro was because I haven't done it in so freaking long. There's cobwebs in my vocal cords. How are you doing today?
Fine. I'm doing great. It's
That was an intentional laugh, by the way.
Because it's not 7 or it's not 8. It's 7. Anyway, we got the day right though. It's the first time in a while we've got the day right.
Actually, dude, it's probably the first time in 3 months we've got it on a Thursday.
Yeah. So we're here. It's been
pretty
a while.
pathetic, but
we're back.
It's not about what time or what day it is on the live stream. It's just, I mean, it's not even really about. You just need to hear the podcast every week. It doesn't have to be on a particular day. Also, I forgot I have to fade out this music. We're still talking. Sorry, audio listeners. Fading out now. Okay, cool.
There you go.
I forgot to edit the fade out. I edited that intro before we went live because the old file that I used to use to make this make the podcast live and everything, so the stream could hear it and the audio listeners, my computer blew up and lost the file. That's a good segue to where the hell have we been, Drip?
Why have we not been here? We have not been here. There's been lots of stuff. I'm
like, seriously,
I'm remodeling this whole downstairs. So
if you haven't noticed,
it's not even background. A full remodel. This room is going to be completely different. We're going for something, I had the big, busy background with lots of different colors and this and that, but that's fine. And I like that look, but I just want something a little more just clean and neat. Yeah. And we're going with a different vibe down here. And I'm actually in a different place. I'm sure you can probably tell that, but I'm not over I used to stream from that corner where the guitar is right there actually. But, yeah, we've got a lot of new stuff in here. I've got like new everything, just about monitors, desk, like everything is different down here. We're still putting a bunch of it together. There's a bunch of stuff that's changing. Eventually, once it's done, there'll be a full video talking about all the new stuff, showing off all this. I've been asked several times to do a video down here of what this room looks like, the other room with the couch and all that stuff. So we're going to do a little bit of a tour video. Hopefully it's going to be close to the end of this month. I'm almost done. I'm so close.
Yeah, man. Lots and lots has changed. For you, like you just said, your basement is like you took it apart and repainted it.
It's still apart, dude.
And it's still kind of apart.
You should see, like, when you open the front door, it's like, oh, look, a pack rat lives here. Why is all this stuff here? You can barely open my front door. It's crazy, man.
You called me earlier. You called me earlier and you're like, yo, there's dirt all over my house. I'm
okay,
like,
what is
he doing now? I'm like, what are you doing now?
That was for a video. No, that was a different thing. I was potting plants and stuff. That was a whole different thing.
I know, but it was just funny.
Like, yesterday, I have one of the shelves that was down here. It's in the front room too. And I've been moving stuff in and out. You know what I mean? And it was kind of in front of my garage door in that front room there. I needed to open it, so I had to pull it out. And there was just this little area where I was walking through and I just clipped the side of my steps with the side of my foot. It hurt really bad. Okay. Wasn't that big of a deal. I was like, okay, fine, move on. Then about an hour later, I did it again and hit it even harder in this same exact spot, dude. I was on the ground. Like I have a giant like goose egg on the side of my foot. It's been a whole thing, man.
Yeah, you had mentioned that the big golf ball sized bruise.
Yeah, it's gone down a little bit as the day's gone. It was really big this morning, though. It's going down now.
What's funny is I also injured myself not too long ago. Actually turns out it's completely fine, which is weird. But I think I've sprained my ankle so many times in my life that it's actually got to like I can extend it to a certain a certain point, and there's no harm comes to it. Like there's it's so stretched out down there. Like,
you're just used to it.
Yeah. Well, like a few minutes ago, and I'm not making this up. About an hour ago. Well, let me start over. We've had this yard decoration in our backyard for a very long time, and it's been time. It's time to get rid of it. It's run its course. It's no longer cute. It's got to go. By the way, it's not my decor. It's Abby's mother's decor.
It's no longer cute?
I don't. I'm kind of beating around the bush because I don't want to tell you exactly what it is quite yet. But I was dragging this thing from the backyard and dragging it to the trash because we're gonna bring it out tomorrow's trash day, and we're bringing it out, putting it to the trash can. Anyway, I sprained my ankle because I was dragging a toilet from the backyard to the front so it could go out for trash tomorrow.
A toilet.
An actual toilet.
Nice. I like it, man. Hey,
it's different, right?
Yeah,
it's not your normal decoration, but it works. You know, when your toilet goes, you have the choice. You can either throw it out immediately, or you can throw it in your backyard and put dirt in it and put a plant in it.
There was a plant in it too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not at the moment. I think there's actually just dirt. I think the plant died. There was no upkeep with this yard decoration.
Ah, so it was like one and done type of thing.
I think the intention was to keep it living and going, but they just kind of neglected it. And it was literally at the side, like a corner of the house, just like, here's a toilet with some dirt in it. And they just kind of neglected it. And it was time to throw it out.
That happens. It's fine. It's totally fine.
Yeah, I just thought that was funny. You know, I sprained my ankle because I was dragging a toilet. I've been dragging a toilet for three weeks now. Or not 3 weeks. How long have we been gone? Seriously, when was the last time we uploaded? Or last time we went live for a podcast? Besides our hangout.
That was it. Before that, it was 2 weeks before that because you were on vacation.
So what, 2 months?
It's been a long time. But the point is, we're back. We're here.
Yeah.
There's stuff going on. We've missed a lot, but we came back at a really good time. There's a ton of stuff happening. I mean, most of it's rumors with Switch, this and that, which I mean, I don't care. I'll talk about that till the cows come home. I don't care. We had Pokemon stuff, and we were going to have Tyson on tonight. But he got caught up at work. He's not going to be able to come on, but it's fine because I also happen to be a Pokemon expert. So it's totally cool. Oh, not a big deal. I'm here. We'll take care of all of it. I know all of them. I know the Shocky one, the yellow one. I know the fire lizard, rocks. I know all of them. So we'll deal with the Pokemon stuff. We got Switch stuff to talk about. So Nintendo says that we're not getting a Switch this year, which is interesting. We'll get into that. But I mean, anything else you want to talk about before we jump into all this stuff?
I mean, I went on vacation, and you and I met up in person and recorded a podcast and never uploaded it.
Yeah,
just want to mention
and video. We made videos too. Oh, I checked I meant to tell you, I checked the audio on those videos. Something's wrong.
Yes, because it was like that for the stream too.
Yeah, something. I don't know what it was. It was like clicks and weird stuff happening.
Yes, I mean, at the moment, that was the best we could do because we remember all the issues we had with that.
Yeah,
we were just like, it sounds fine, but I heard the clicks. Like, there was nothing. We tried everything that in the moment.
I don't know. The audio is so weird, man. I looked at it the other day. I was like, what is happening? What is this?
But those videos may never go up because of that reason. We'll see if we can do anything about that. Maybe not. But anyway, we were on vacation. We hung out. My internet went kaput. That's another reason why we were not streaming for so long. I could not stream and record a podcast because I could not use internet at the house. I was using a hotspot. That was not ideal. So that's all. Just a quick little recap of where we've been, and we're back, and we're here to stay this time.
Yes, we are. We are. Things are moving forward. Things are good. Things are great.
Now that we're back, like you were saying a second ago, now that we're back, lots of stuff to talk about because there's been a period of time where Nintendo has announced stuff and whatnot. And actually, just yesterday, we finally got some news. Actually, we've had a trailer for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but we got a bigger trailer with more information yesterday morning.
Yes,
I think we'll start off with that right off the bat. The podcast.
Pokemon Presents.
The Pokemon Presents. I like to call it the Pokemon Nintendo Direct because it sounds better.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Same difference. But yeah, we got us trailer for the games. We saw the penis legendary Pokemons once again.
Yes, we did. It's just that purple one, man. It's got like rockets on the back, and it's like, dude, that's a wiener. That's exactly what that is, and it's very weird that you just okay, whatever. First off, I want to say one thing about this that we're going to get into all the other stuff. I say this about every Pokemon game when we get to this point. I say this about all of them. And then I end up playing them. I'm like, yeah, good. It's okay. Not quite what I wanted. I feel like this is actually going to be the one where I'm like, yes, this is what I wanted. Like, I wanted open world. We got the confirmation from from Nintendo, from the Pokemon Company, they said it. They said this is an open world game, the first for the Pokemon franchise. They said it. So we know it is 100% open world. That's what I've been waiting on. I want to go explore a place. Like, it looks great. Like the map, that's kind of what I wanted to touch on before we got into the other stuff. We didn't really talk about this off stream. Did you look at the map?
Not really, no.
Oh my God, it's huge, man. It's huge.
On a scale of like Skyward Sword to Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
Where is it in there?
It's in the middle of there.
Okay.
I mean,
the Skyward Sword's pretty big, but it's not crazy.
Yeah,
big.
but it's all like
and
separated and stuff. Yeah, yes. But I mean, I don't know. It's hard to tell how big it actually. It's not as big as Breath of the Wild's map. There's no way. Excuse me. There's no way. But it is. I'm looking at it right now. I mean, it's a fair size. It's got all kinds of different areas. And I mean, I'm going to say this a lot as we go into this. There's no way. I want your opinion on, like, there's no way Breath of the Wild wasn't the main inspiration for 90% of this stuff, right?
I mean, it's not like it's unusual for game companies to take a page out of Breath of the Wild's book, and it's definitely not surprising for the Pokemon Company, which is heavily influenced and works with Nintendo, to do that. So, listen, if like Monster Hunter Stories can take pages out of Breath of the Wild's book, and if Phoenix Immortals Rising, if that's the right way to put it, that name, takes pages out of Breath of the Wild, why can't the Pokemon Company do that? I mean,
I mean, I'm fine with it. Listen, I'm
sorry,
fine.
Arceus. Look at the cover of Arceus. Yeah. I mean, that the game not necessarily exactly like Breath of the Wild, but the cover is a reimagining of that cover of Breath of the Wild.
Basically, yeah. Basically.
I think it's totally fine. And I have no problems with, listen, Breath of the Wild was a fantastic game. So why not copy that formula and kind of take that formula and do something of your own with it? Kind of like Coke and Pepsi. You know, you may be a Coke fan, you may be a Pepsi fan, but at least you have a choice to be a Coke Pepsi fan. If they didn't kind of knock each other off,
Pepsi
you only have Coke. There'd be no Pepsi.
Sucks. Pepsi sucks.
Listen, I'm just saying that at least there's some choice here. If you don't like Breath of the Wild, but you like the Pokemon style game, now you have a Pokemon style that gets the good things about Breath of the Wild in it. So cool.
Yeah, I'm cool looking at the map. I mean, it's got all the different areas. Just like, I mean, there's like a little desert area. There's a bunch of different. There's so much stuff. There's this big thing in the middle. I don't know what that is. Like a big, like, volcano looking thing in the middle. There's a giant icy mountain in the back. I mean, it's cool. It's cool. And speaking of the map, before we get into my big favorite parts, this is also one of those, actually. You can do anything in any order. Again, another page out of the Breath of the Wild book, sort of.
Yep.
But I mean, Breath of the Wild's not the only game that's ever done that. Let's not get that twisted. But you can do it in any order. There's 8 gyms, which you can do in any order you want. With all that, there's that, the gyms, and then there's 2 other stories. Whatever the other 2 storylines are, there's 3 different stories that you can progress through. And I'm guessing at the same time, you can do, some of this, some of that, whatever you want. I'm sure they're all kind of intertwined, but they have their own, basic story.
Yeah.
But I love that. My question with that is, how much exploration do you think we're going to get? What is there going to be to discover on this map? Are we going to actually get Breath of the Wild level of things to discover in this open world map, or is it going to be empty?
No. And here's why. Breath of the Wild, the way they get away with it is, you have 900 Koroks to go after. You have endless different types of terrain, and up and down inclines, water areas, lots of different textures and world things to go and explore, to kind of get, I see some extra, these trees over here look different than these trees. Let me go check this out. This cluster of rocks and mountain look a little weird. Let me go, it piques my interest over there. Oh, I see some rocks that might be
I'm telling you though, man.
Here. In Pokemon though, remember, one of the criticisms we had with Scarlet and Violet is that it looks kind of barren. The trees don't look exactly plentiful.
I don't know, man.
And
there were some scenes.
If you remember in Arceus, it looked great, or good. Arceus looked good, but it wasn't like a significant difference from area to area. It was pretty much just trees, different colored grass maybe, but the grass is the same texture, the trees are the same, not that many trees. It wasn't like, ooh, this area looks fun, let me go over here. Ooh, this area looks fun over here. In fact, like up if you had to go up mountains and stuff, you had to use a special Pokemon you had to get, and it wasn't enticing. Like, I didn't want to go up a mountain to see what was up there because pretty much nothing was on top of these mountains. It was just blank rocks.
See, I disagree. I think showing what they showed in the first part of the trailer when they started talking about Scarlet and Violet, there was one scene where you're in the air and you're flying over. I believe it's like kind of a grassy area and it's down this mountain, and you can see there's like 3 different areas of terrain. I looked at that one scene right there and I was like, wow, look at that. Look at that. I wonder what that is. What is this thing? Almost every single frame that you went through, there's something in the scene where you're like, what is that thing? What is that? I feel like this is going to be, I feel like there's going to be a lot more. And I think maybe the other 2 quests or whatever it is, like the other 2 main parts of the story besides the gyms, are going to be more exploration based stuff. At least I hope. That's what I'm really hoping for. I mean, again, I'm sitting here looking at the map right now. There's a lot of different stuff going on in this map. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There are lakes, there are deserts, there are snowy mountains, there are towns, cities. I don't know. I'm pretty interested in this game. How do you feel about the fact that we get the legendary cover art Pokemon, what looks like right at the start of the game?
Intriguing.
And they're motorcycles.
They're motorcycles or planes.
Yeah. Or I guess they just climb up walls too.
I would imagine so. I almost feel like that's a cop-out. Like, why can't we just climb? Like, one of the cool things about Breath of the Wild is that as the character Link, you can do anything. You can hit stuff, you can climb stuff, you can swim, you can walk, you can run. You have a stamina meter to let you know how much you have left of these things. Yeah. And it was just cool to know that there were absolutely, from the second you start the game, there are absolutely, besides the paraglider, no limitations to boot and the rest of the game going forward. No limitations of what you can do. Just spend that first 2 hours to get the paraglider, then you're golden. Like, that was cool. And in Arceus, if Pokemon company is using some hints that were good about Arceus in this new Pokemon game, then they should know that one of the worst parts of Arceus to me was that your character was not like Link in that way. That you could not walk up mountains.
But these are
fly.
Like kids throwing Pokeballs. They're not Link. They can't be Link.
You know that Link is a kid too, right?
Yeah, but he's the man. Not. He's not just a regular kid. He's the dude. He's the guy.
Listen, kids climb trees better than I can. So
that's true. I can't climb a tree. There's no way I can climb a tree right now.
I think it's almost not a cop-out's the wrong word, but it's bizarre.
Well, you can see what they've done though. They've taken, the deer and the bear and all the stuff from Arceus and just smashed it all into one Pokemon. They're like, this is your traversal thing. That is that aspect of it is, we're talking about upgrades from Arceus. That's sweet. The fact that I don't have to switch in between. I don't know if you had this problem, Arceus. I don't know if you played even enough to have it. But when I was flying around, far in Arceus.
When I was flying around, when I was just trying to switch to the Pokemon that was its function Pokemon, like the Pokemon that you walk up the walls with, the Pokemon that you run with, the Pokemon that you fly with. When you're switching between those, it was clunky. And I would actually often take lots of fall damage because I had to use my controller to move over to the flying one. Or sorry, I had to move past the flying one. Yeah. And by doing that, you actually flew for a few seconds. It threw you up in the air, and then you fell down and took damage. There was no avoiding that. From what I could see, that was clunky. Yeah. This is an upgrade from that because it's all in one.
It looks like you just go jump off the cliff and the thing just like, oh yeah, we're jumping off a cliff now. Let me get my wings out. I mean, maybe it's just like a fly button, or kind of like when you pull the paraglider out in Breath of the Wild. You just kind of double hit it. Once you get in the air, you just hit it again.
Yeah, I think they should okay, it's fun that you're taking the art style, you're taking some of the gameplay aspects, but take deeper gameplay aspects of Breath of the Wild. Like, they got that perfect, man. The way that Link just walks the walls and glides with the paraglider is perfect. It's perfection.
Yeah, it's just smooth. Yeah, it's smooth. It's effortless.
Yes,
it feels. Yeah, it doesn't feel like, oh no, not that. Yeah, no, It's just
what my
press it
hands
twice, you're
and
gliding.
controller are doing should be exactly what the character on screen is doing. No, unless it's like a Souls game where the animations are a key thing. That should be what is happening in a video game when you're controlling a character in a 3D environment.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I do really like the fact that you get them at the beginning, though. I think that's really
awesome.
fun.
Yeah,
I am going Violet. I don't know about you. I'm going Violet.
Well, if you haven't noticed, you asked me that question earlier, and you told me to wait for my response. If you haven't noticed, one of my favorite colors is violet. I mean, there's a violet light going on this shelf. I always have violet lights back there. Which
is true.
This one. And literally, when I ask Google to change the color of the lights, I say, hey,
change it to violet.
Change it to violet, specifically. I'm 1,000% going with Penis Rocket Violet.
I am too. I mean, for my one reason is this. I was already going there. I like it's like I don't know what that's going to be like with the story. One seems to be more of like an actual animal, and the other one is like a robot, like a digital. It's got like 8-bit eyes. Did you notice that?
Not really,
purple
no.
one, the violet one, it's got like dots. It's like LED dots. Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know. I think it's cool. But that one actually rides like a motorcycle. The other one uses its hands. It's got wheels, but instead of using them, it's like that thing Obi-Wan Kenobi rides in episode 3. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but I was going to use the Flintstone reference. Like he's, yabba dabba doo.
Yeah, okay. It's like that too.
That's cool.
I like the bike better. But again, I hate to keep. I said I was going to do this, but another Breath of the Wild thing, the bike. It's in the DLC, I know, but like, it's nice that they give it to you at the beginning, especially in an open world where you're going to literally be like, you're going to be going long distances. It's nice to have something where you're not just walking.
Yes,
I do like that. And that's probably what the reasoning is behind getting it early, that they say. And I guarantee it's what they say in the game. Like, oh, you can't just be out here in this giant open world without anything to get around. Take this giant Pokemon right here.
Yeah,
what about your starter?
My starter? What are the 3 starters again? Let me look at the video real fast.
Tiny kitty cat.
Tiny kitty cat, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Little blue duck and chubby dinosaur.
Is this the official announcement for what the names are of the Pokemon? Are you officially announcing it right now?
Yes, chubby red dinosaur, blue duck, and
I gotta be honest.
Yeah, and the cat's green, right? Is it
I think so. I'm trying to find the picture of them right now. The chubby dinosaur is silly. I think I'm going with Quaxley because
I said that
either that's a hair or if it's his hat, whatever it is, a tuft of duck hair. I don't care.
It's nice.
It
hair.
is adorable, and he's like the Elvis of Pokemon.
Okay, it's definitely hair because in the trailer, I'm pretty sure he does like a hair flip and it like.
Yes, he does. I wish I could show you guys. We don't show you the video because Pokémon Company.
Really they're not nice
when you do that sorts of things.
Yeah.
But like he totally does like a big
like a hair flip.
Hair flip with the water coming off it.
Sup, girl, sup.
I actually thought it was a beret when I first saw it. Earlier in the year when we saw the first trailer. The fact that I now know it's a hair. Now that I know it's hair. It looks pretty awesome. I'm going with Quaxley.
Okay, I have this problem, and I did this with Sword and Shield too. I was like, oh yeah, which one was it? The water one, the little lizard, has the worst final evolution of the 3.
I haven't seen the final evolution.
He's like, I guess he's supposed to be like a James Bond, but he looks like he plays bass for an emo band. Just real skinny, tall guy. Like, yeah,
okay.
Man. Like, okay. I'm like, dude, this guy ain't fighting nobody. Get out of here. Like, get out of here with that.
It's pretty silly.
I want to see what these things are going to turn into because I don't want to get burned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Tyson will know the leaks. I'm going to wait till he knows what they look like. I'm going to be like, show me what they look like because I'm not picking one until I know.
I never go off of that. I never look. I'm a guy who likes surprise in general. I'm not one who likes to chase the leaks because I like to be surprised. So something as small as this, where it really doesn't matter, I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna find out what Quaxley looks like later. I don't want to go look in the internet and find what the sleuths are finding. Like whatever. I'm cool with Quaxley. If he turns into some stupid looking goose, then I have a stupid looking goose. He's my stupid.
What if he is a
looking
goose? Yeah, a goose. I didn't think about that. Like a beautiful swan.
I mean, that would be a great evolution. I mean, one of my favorite evolutions. Not that it's a swan,
sick.
but what's the? Oh, I forget the Dratini. And then Dratini turns into something else. I know
don't
you
talk to me. Don't talk to me like that.
The Pokemon fans know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you just said, but
he's like a beautiful water snake. Water snake is his name. I would call him. I think that's what you would call him too. His evolution is
moccasin.
Awesome.
No water moccasin there.
No, a snake. Oh, okay, water yeah, okay, yes. Well, he's a water moccasin indeed. Anyway, he looks cool. So if they could do something like that, some sort of slick, thin,
I don't know.
We'll
goose,
see. Whatever.
I'm excited though, man. The whole thing, I don't want to talk about the graphics at all. I'm done talking about graphics in Pokemon. It looks the same as the rest.
Yes.
Like there's nothing.
There are small visual upgrades,
tiny ones.
Let's not take that away from them.
They're moving along. It's fine. No, it's basically the same. I don't care. I don't expect it anymore. I don't think we even need to talk about that. Yeah. But again, the open world. I'm telling you, I'm very, very interested to see what those other two parts of whatever the quests are, whatever the not the gyms, the other things. I'm telling you, I think it's going to be something that's exploration based. At least one of these other two quests is going to be an exploration based thing. I think we're going to be very surprised at what's in this open world. I looking from just those few scenes, like I said, that's the biggest takeaway I got. Those few scenes where they're flying, they're looking down, you can see the terrain and see what different. It looks like there's a lot of stuff going on. So I'm hopeful that we get something like that. Seeing all that makes me want to do that, and I'm going Violet.
Yeah. Let's talk about, before we wrap it up with Pokemon, let's talk about the number one multiplayer, and then the word I forgot that I was supposed to remember. That is where you get all diamond colored looking crap.
Terrastalize.
Terrastalize.
Is that right? That may not be right.
Terrastalizing. I don't know, something like that. Terrastalites.
Something, yeah.
All the Pokemon fans are,
I know. Just whatever. Whenever they turn into diamonds.
Yes. Let's start with the multiplayer. Multiplayer, I think I'm curious to see, I think like you, how they're going to implement it, how it's going to work, if it sucks because Nintendo's online infrastructure is garbage. I don't think it'll suck.
I think it'll be fine. I'm more worried about how limited it's going to be. Like, what can you do in multiplayer? Can you go play the game? Like, actually play the game?
Yes,
multiplayer?
Yes, because
that's what I want to do.
Yeah. To your point, Animal Crossing is a game where it's like, there's multiplayer, but basically you just run around your island to show your friend. I wonder, Pokemon, can we actually go catch Pokemon together? Can we battle each other then and there?
Okay, I am sure that's all there. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about going through the story, like going through the actual story. Can you go do it together? Can you move the story forward as a team? Can you do that?
So like Monster Hunter style.
Well, Monster Hunter has its own little menu where it's like once you go multiplayer, it's like you're not doing these monsters anymore. You go into this other building, you get quests from this building. You still have another. It's a different story. Maybe that's what one of those other stories is. Maybe that's what one of the other the quests is. Maybe it is a multiplayer thing, like a full-on multiplayer version of the campaign, or you know what I mean, something like that. Could be. So I just figured it out. There you go. It's exploration, and then there's a multiplayer. There's the other two. Done.
Okay.
Figured it out.
Terrastalizing. That looks cool. I think it's really interesting that they're kind of making sort of new Pokemon out of it. When you get to terrastalizing, when Pokemon gets to that state, you're almost a new version of that same Pokemon, which is really interesting with cool attacks. And you look cool.
It looks cool-ish. Like the giant things on their head are fucking stupid.
I just think it's cool.
I think it would look a lot cooler if they were just diamonds without insanely large headpieces. Whatever. I'm not.
Doesn't really matter in the grand scheme.
My big question, and you can correct me if I'm wrong in asking this, and I'm sure Tyson and other Pokemon fans who know will tell me I'm an idiot. But isn't this just Dynamaxing without getting big? Doesn't it do the same thing?
I didn't play Sword and Shield, so I'm not familiar with Dynamaxing. I'm
I'm
familiar. You get like big, right?
Yeah, and you get more powerful. Like it just seems like it's that.
But
only
I believe
into a diamond.
I think it's a version. I'll speak out of turn because really Tyson should be telling us, but I think it is like that. I think, but it's different. Like they're just changing that mechanic to be something different. Instead of Dynamaxing, you're terastallizing, and it's the same premise. You get to do it. It's special.
Yeah, and I know,
but what you do is different. Your Pokemon didn't change to a different Pokemon when you just got big,
right.
if I'm not mistaken.
Well, no, it can change. No, that's kind of the thing, though. You can't. That I will give it this. Mistaken. I see that you can change the types will change. It's possible. I guess it's not like every time, but it's possible that like their example is like if you have an Eevee, it could turn into a grass type Eevee or a water type. Like I guess I don't know if it stays like that or if it just does it while it's a diamond, but
I don't know.
I don't know either. So I mean, I see that's different, but I mean, I feel like it's basically the same. Doesn't matter. I get it. It's just it seems very similar to me. I don't know a lot about it, but it looks cool. I don't like the big head pieces, but it looks cool. I'm sure they're going to sell a ton of merch.
They're going to sell a ton of merch, games,
yes.
all of it. That's the goal. Not that the games are secondary to everything else.
Yes, they'll have. You'll be able to buy them at antique shops in 25 years. Just little crystal Eevees you can put on your mantle.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, it'd be wonderful.
Speaking of things that are great, actually, it might not be great. Opposite segue, anti-segue. Was it today? Today,
yes.
Nintendo has announced. I just hit my microphone. No Switches for 2022. Not a Switch Lite 5G, not a Switch Lite OLED, not a Switch Pro, not a anything for 2022.
We'll
Drip
see.
Media Gaming, you have been covering this since the dawn of time. Before the Switch was ever released, there's been rumors about a Switch Pro, and you've been covering since then. Sir, I ask you this question, and this question alone, what the hell is going on? I'm confused.
Okay, what's going on is Nintendo. Okay, we got to go back.
Okay, let's take it back.
Rumors have been going crazy. Let's take it back to, I mean, what, a month ago, 2 months ago? Everybody kept saying, "Oh no, there's something's happening at the end of this year. It's happening." Like, oh, something. There's something there. It's a Pro. Nintendo's stocking up on these parts. They're doing this. They're doing that. They're doing this. I mean, and I guess they are. That everyone said, "Oh, it's a Switch Pro. It's a Switch Pro." I, as you know, said, "Nah, I don't know. I don't think that's next. I still think it's a Switch Lite of some sort that's next." So then, what was it? Last weekend, rumors of a Switch Lite 5G with a new screen. You know, I mean, that there was a lot of information that it seemed kind of legit. I don't know. At least the information kind of lined up with what would be possible. They said they were going to offer plans through like T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, and you could get them like when you buy the Switch. I mean, I don't know. Let me ask you this. How do you feel about that just in general? About if a 5G Switch, just, I don't care what it is. It doesn't have to be a Lite. It could be any type of Switch. Do you think I'm on board with that. I think that should have been, I mean, well,
a 5G Switch.
Not,
you want me to answer the question, what I think about a 5G Switch?
Yes.
Well, sir, you're not going to like my answer.
You don't like it.
And here's why. It's not for me. And I'm not speaking for the Switch community. I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm speaking for myself. I think a Switch 5G is stupid because I don't use my Switch to go everywhere, especially in this day and age where we're still, whether we like it to admit it or not, we are in a pandemic. It has not been downgraded as of yet at this point. We're still in a pandemic. There are still things that we can't do, or rather, we shouldn't be doing. But we are anyway. But that's besides the point. There's just not in my life, at least, there's not a ton of opportunity to go places with my Switch. Doesn't mean I'm not going anywhere. But what I'm saying is, where I am going, it's not like I want to bring my Switch with me these days.
I don't know. I have my Switch with me all the time. I feel like it's just always with me. I don't know, and I have my phone too. So like, if I need to get online on my Switch for something, if it's like, you can't play this game unless you whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like I can hook it to my hotspot.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It works. But I mean, that's kind of a pain in the ass. I don't know. It's kind of a pain in the ass. Like you have to remember, like not so much anymore, but like I used to wait outside of like dance studios for my kids to get out of dance. But I mean, I'm always waiting somewhere it's like, I'm always doing that. I'm sitting in the car playing Switch. So for me, something like that would be nice to be able to play whatever, just for instance, Fortnite in the car, not having to worry about it on 5G, like just chilling.
I have plenty of games that I don't need to play. Now, hold on, back up real fast. You still need to, even if you have two Switches, you still need to connect to even for the offline game, you need to connect to a hotspot to let your Switch like, hey, you own this game? Cool?
Yeah.
Sweet.
For the second Switch, yeah.
Yeah. Well, for me, I have three, and like Abby, so like it's a big problem for me.
If it's not the primary Switch, yes.
And neither of the Switches I use are primary because in order for Abby to play my games digitally, she has to be the primary. So it is a big issue for me, the whole primary Switch thing. And the fact
you could turn cloud saves off on your account on that Switch only. And she could play on your account on that Switch only, and it wouldn't go to the cloud.
We get it. Go to media. There's a video. YouTube.com/media gaming. Whatever. We get you.
I didn't say that in the video though. I found that out after the video. But now that's what I do with the kids.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. What was I saying?
Yeah. Stuff.
So like anyway, as of now, and without further information, I have to connect to a hotspot to even play Breath of the Wild because Nintendo has to check the servers, which is
that
stupid.
Would be cool if you didn't have to do that.
It'd be cool if I didn't have to do that. Do I want to pay? And let's be honest with ourselves. If you look at like the tablet market and the like iPods, not iPods, like the tablet market, where you have to have special LTE bands. To if you want to have you can't just pop a SIM in a regular tablet like a Switch. It's going to need some sort of SIM or something. Yeah. There's going to be extra hardware, and if we go back from experience with tech, there's going to be an extra cost to that. It's not like we're going to get it's like an extra $30-$40 and Nintendo will offer you a $300 or even a $250 Switch OLED 5G. No. Maybe it's going to be a premium thing. This is going to be a premium product because if you want that 5G connectivity, if you want that 5G connectivity, they're going to charge you. Period.
Well, they're going to charge you.
They're going to charge you extra.
I do wonder about
and there's
that.
a Nintendo tax on everything. If you haven't noticed,
yeah, but that's not.
It's going to be a Switch Lite.
No, you can't
do 5G. It's going to be $300.
They're not. Oh, bull!
It's going to have an OLED screen.
Absolutely not. They said in the thing it's $250. They already said in the leak. It's $250.
Well, Uncle Jeeb's
we
right.
don't even know if it's real.
Listen to nobody else but Uncle Jeeb. Uncle Jeeb's right. It's going to have a OLED. If they're going to release a Switch Lite,
more. Regardless, it's going to end up being more than $300 because depending on what they do with the service, you're going to be paying every month or yearly. So, I mean, even if it is, let's just say, I don't know, $50 a year or something like that. If it is a low price for that, you're paying it every year. So now you're paying $50 a year for the Nintendo Switch Online, and you're also paying $50
it's only $50 a year?
What? I'm. It's probably more. I'm just saying. But then you're paying whatever $30 a month for this or that, whatever. You know what I mean? It's going to be more in the long run. It doesn't matter. We don't even know if that's real. The next thing was today. They said no.
Today is August 4th, by the way, as of recording date.
They said no. We have no nothing. No nothing for this year. No nothing at all. Which, yeah, I mean that's fine. They probably don't. They're talking to investors and stuff. They're not going to lie to their investors. This is the one time when they're serious. They did tell us a lot of other stuff too. I don't know if you want to go into any of that.
I don't know it. You tell me because you told me right before we recorded.
I got a little bit. Just this is interesting. So, total hardware sales for the Switch, 111 million.
So last time we heard it was 103, if I'm not mistaken. So I made a video on my YouTube and
111
right
million.
around when those numbers came out, and it was 103. So we've gained since then. Earlier this year, was it? we've gained about 7 to 8 million units sold.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I don't know for sure. Kirby, the new Kirby, has already sold 4 million copies, which is well over double what the last one did, All Stars, which is
a ton.
Yeah, I mean, and it was good. That's
I need to finish
awesome.
that game. I neglect that game, and I shouldn't. I've seen the end game. Unfortunately, I saw someone streaming it, and holy crap!
Dude, it's nuts.
It's not really a kid's game as much as you think, especially toward the end.
Especially at the end. The whole end part's really good.
I can't wait to finish that.
A few other little things I just want to talk about really quick.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild's at 27.1 million. Smash Brothers is at 28. Animal Crossing is almost at 40 million copies sold. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which has been out since 2017, is only at about to be 47 million. So Animal Crossing's only about 8 million off of Mario Kart.
That is,
and it's been out
absolutely
like a fraction of the
wild,
time.
Dude.
It's crazy. It's nuts. I mean, it's insane that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the Wii U game, has sold almost 47 million copies on a different system as a port.
Yeah, we're not including sales that came before because the game's 8 years old or something like that. I don't know. It's old.
It's insane. It's really absolutely insane.
That's just the Switch port.
Yeah,
sales.
So I just wanted to touch on that because I thought that was interesting. I thought that was fun. Now, like I said, Nintendo says we're not getting anything, but dude, I don't know. I mean, that's fine. We're not getting anything this year. And I'm sure they're talking about up until March, which is their fiscal year.
Yeah.
The end of March. They restart in April. So like everybody's flipping out. Oh, we're not getting anything. We're not getting anything. We're not getting anything. But like, we could literally get something in April. Like, I'll believe them. Like, no, we don't have anything this year. I will believe them. But that doesn't mean April 1st, they're not like, hey, here's this. I mean, I don't know. I figured we would see something a little bit earlier than that. Honestly, I figured we would see something last month. We didn't. I was dead wrong about that. I had all kinds of hopes and dreams about that, which were totally wrong.
I followed your path right with you. I brought my microphones and everything like that because I thought to my vacation at home on vacation because I thought for sure that week. I'm like, I know it. I was like, Nintendo's gonna fuck me personally while I'm on vacation. I had to bring my gear with me just in case they will do something crazy and we have to record a podcast.
Yeah, they did. So.
And that was funny. Looking back at that, it's like, dude, you're an idiot. Like,
hey, you know what? It made sense.
We're like 2 months after that point, and we still got nothing.
It made sense at the time. You know what? Really it's fun to think about. And I said it through the whole thing. You know what? I may be dead wrong about this. I was. Fucking sue me, you know? I don't know.
Hey, man.
I said it was just a guess. But I mean, we're getting to the point now, and I think we need to take this from a different perspective at this point. Everybody's talking about like, we need a pro, we need a pro, we need a pro, we need a pro. I think the idea is just wrong. Like this pro idea. And I think it's because of the way that we think about what a pro is. Like you look at a PlayStation 4 and a PlayStation 4 Pro. That Pro is like, that's it. Like this is as high, this is the Pro model. Like doesn't get any higher than that. There's not a Super Pro. There's not an extra Pro. Pro is the end. I think we need to stop looking at this like, oh, they're going to do the Pro and then they'll move on. I really honestly think that we need to start looking at this more along the lines of iPhones and just the next iteration of the same thing. I don't think we're going to see a Switch Pro. I think our iPhone 12 to our iPhone 13 was our Switch to our Switch OLED. And the next one to our, iPhone 14 is going to maybe have something extra in it to give us more power, but still play all the same games. we got to look at this more like the 3DS, like the 2DS. Like that's where we're going. I don't think there's going to be. I mean, I don't know what they'll call it. Who knows? I don't think we're going to see a Switch 2. I don't think whatever's next is coming for a long time. I think this whole Switch thing is going to look more like cell phones. It's going to be just keep them going. A little bit better. I think it makes way more sense to do that at this point with what they're doing. Look at the sales. That's why I brought that up. 111 million they've already sold.
And counting.
Now think about how many of those 111 million Switch owners. There's probably multiple Switches for the same people. Think about how many of those people would upgrade. I mean, just like you, just like anybody else. Don't you want to upgrade your phone? It's not that much better, but I mean, you look at it, it's like, oh, it's got that new camera. I kind of want that new camera. I'm gonna go get a new phone. And we're not talking thousands; we're talking hundreds.
I think what you were saying, you almost kind of contradicted yourself a little bit, just simply because I think like the you were using the analogy of cell phones with the Switch. I don't think you're really right with that, but I think what you mean might be right, because the way phones work these days, and not that you're not familiar, they come out every year, and you can't use that analogy for the Switch because but what you mean is that it's incremental upgrades each time. It's not going to be a big upgrade every time.
Exactly. I don't think we're ever going to see that. I think every single one of these is going to be, here's a little bit.
We're getting, so the better way to put what you said is an incremental upgrade every time we get one.
I think that makes more sense. I think it makes way more sense.
It's what we've got. It's what we've gotten. Listen, the Switch is not old, but let me just go back to the timeline. There's not too many Switches out there. We had the original Switch, OG Switch day one. Then we got an incremental upgrade about 2 years later that gave you a better battery life. And that's it. Then we got an incremental upgrade, side grade, if you will, with the Switch Lite, which didn't do anything less except for it didn't switch. It's
basically like an iPhone. What do they call, like an iPhone mini to the?
It's a smaller device, but in gaming terms and handheld terms, it was made for a specific audience. That my light turned off over there. Made for a specific audience that is basically children or people who didn't want to dock. That's what the Switch Lite was for. And then the latest, again, upgrade, incremental, very small. Again, power-wise, internals, nearly identical to every other Switch before it, but we got a better screen. So
kickstand. I will say
kickstand, but again, it's nothing
this far out.
It's not like
kickstand's probably one of the best things about that Switch.
It's incremental. It's incremental. It's not like it's not a PS4 Pro or PS.
That's what I'm saying.
That gave you better graphics in Fortnite. Like
because that's what I'm saying. But when you look at, that's what I mean. You look at like the PlayStation. You look at the PlayStation 4 Pro. Like that was it. You can't go any further than that. Then you go to PS5. I don't think we're going there. I don't think it's ever going to be like that. And I'm this hill. I'm dying on this hill. I don't care. Whatever the next one is tied to Breath of the Wild 2. And I mean, I don't know. I heard who was talking about that today? And maybe it was yesterday. I don't know. When did they say Breath of the Wild 2 was coming out? They said spring 2020. Correct?
Correct.
Okay, that's not January, February.
It's not,
or March. Correct?
I thought it would be. Yeah, I would think. I was under the impression that was Q1, but in reality, it's spring, which is more like end of Q2.
Exactly. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, April, May, right?
Right.
That's spring. So that's also into their next year, their next fiscal year, which still lines up. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'll die on that hill. I know these two things are connected. There's no way they're not going to be. There's no way. This is one of the biggest games they're waiting on. One of the biggest things that's happening with this system. One of the most, talked about, wanted games. Why would you not put it out with the next thing?
Drip, we have a Animal Crossing Switch, we have a Splatoon Switch, we have a Mario Switch, we have multiple Pokemon Switches.
Lights.
We what do we don't?
We got a Monster Hunter Switch.
We have a Monster Hunter Switch. Even
we got a Fortnite Switch.
We have a
dude,
Fortnite Switch,
which is actually super cool now.
Dread's too small a franchise. They wouldn't have done that. They would have probably lost money on that. It would have looked awesome to get one.
Oh my god! But they could have done it with the white Joy-Cons. It would have been.
There's no Mario Kart Switch because we don't need one. There's no need for that. The Nintendo knows that. They have a Mario Switch, not a Mario Kart Switch. So obviously, what's the biggest franchise and the biggest game that we don't have a Switch for?
Yeah.
That hasn't got one. That
we got Joy-Cons.
The sun and the moon are aligning perfectly for a Nintendo Switch eclipse in in Q2 of 2023.
April.
We're getting. Listen,
June.
If we don't, and I'm going to make this plea right now. It's not really a plea. This statement. If we don't get a Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, whatever it's going to be called, Switch next year, regardless if we get a Pro Switch or another iteration, a sidewards upgrade Switch, or even an upgrade Switch, regardless of that, just the current OLED Switch as it stands, if we don't get a Breath of the Wild Switch, Nintendo hates Zelda.
Oh God, get out of here. Okay,
Zelda.
We know
they
don't
are
hate
tired
Zelda.
of making the game. I'm telling you. Listen, if they don't do
You're
it,
out of your
if
damn
they
mind.
don't do it, if they don't do it,
They'll
hate
do
them.
it eventually.
And listen, bro. Hold on. I want one more thing.
How many?
One more thing.
Go ahead.
One more thing, and then I'll stop.
How many 3DS, 2DS Zelda editions were?
One more
4,
thing,
5.
and then I'll stop. Where is the Zelda game in 2022?
Oh, yeah,
I'm John Travolta going like this right now.
Okay,
where is it?
We're not done with 2022.
I didn't say we're not done. I'm just saying, where is it?
I don't know.
What is it? If we don't get a game, we don't get a Switch next year, they
if we
hate
don't,
it.
They don't. They don't hate it.
What's the excuse, man?
You're sitting here trying to rile me up. Is all you're doing. That's all you're doing. You're just trying to piss me off, and it's not going to work.
Guilty as charged.
Listen, we got Skyward Sword Joy-Cons. We got a Zelda Game & Watch.
Dark, man.
We have, like I said, the 3DS, the 2DS. My God, they made so many Zelda editions. They made. Oh, yeah.
Relationships change over time, right? You do know this, right?
Yeah, you're right. They do. They made all that shit before Breath of the Wild sold. Hold on. How many copies did I say earlier? Let me go back. 27.1 million copies. The best-selling Zelda game ever. They made all that shit before then. Before that happened. We will get a Zelda Switch. We will. There's absolutely no way we don't. We got the Joy-Con. We will get a full Zelda Switch, I'm sure, whether it's this, that, whatever.
Side note, can you imagine like an OLED that's in the Mario style? You know how the Mario Switch is red, but OLED where the border is green, and we get
I don't want it green. I want it gold.
Either I would take gold, just whatever. All gold and green. Fuck it. Can you imagine?
That'd be awesome.
Oh my god! The shiny gold border with a
what about
nice...
blue? What about blue? What about the new?
I don't
new
like the
tunic.
I don't like the turquoise, but I bet you they might do that for the Switch Lite. If they're doing a Switch Lite, they would do that.
Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? What if the next Switch we see again? Oh god, this I would be like, I don't know how I'd feel about this. What if the next Switch is tied to Breath of the Wild 2, but it is this supposed 5G Switch Lite? Yeah,
well, 2 thumbs down.
Let's go. But that's a Nintendo move if I've ever seen one. Is it not?
Because they hate us.
Because it's like, oh, you want a Switch for the new Zelda game? Yeah, we got one for you. Just Switch Lite. It's got 5G. You guys want this?
They are easier to manufacture because the shell housings are 1 or 2 pieces, whereas a Switch is multi-pieced with screws.
But I mean,
so they would do that to save some cash and to get some cash.
But we're talking about Zelda,
which they hate.
God, get over it. Stop it. They don't. I don't know. I don't have much else to say on this. I think final thought on all of it. I think this whole Switch 2 thing just needs to be forgotten. The Switch Pro thing, forgotten. We're looking at, not every year, but we're looking at cell phone style incremental updates with the Switch, and we're going to see it for probably 5-6 more years. I don't think we're going anywhere from that. I think by the time we get to maybe the next, not the next Switch, but the Switch after that might be what we're talking about, what we want right now, a Pro. I think we're just going to keep getting incremental updates. Why not? You've got 100 million people out there who own one that'll definitely buy another one. And if you put out something new, you can probably talk 50, 60 more million people to buy one of those.
Drip, it's been fun coming back for the podcast. Yeah,
yes, it has.
That time and has run its course of this episode. Who knows at this point? I didn't check before we recorded. Thank you guys for in the stream. You stick around. We'll be here for a couple more minutes after we end this podcast. Listeners of this podcast, thank you guys so much for listening. We're back. We're going to be uploading every Thursday. Not uploading a Thursday. We're going to be back recording these theoretically every Thursday. If not,
every Thursday.
If you're confused of how our recording schedule, it's because we are too, and it's fine. We do it when we can. The live streams are secondary to the actual audio that goes up when it goes up again. Usually the weekend after the recording of the episode. Regardless, if you want to check out the live streams, go ahead and follow us everywhere. Follow us on Drip's Twitch, follow us on my Twitch, and follow us on our YouTube page where we are currently live at right now. So you'd never miss a live stream, or at least never miss the opportunity to check a live stream because you didn't know
let me interrupt you real quick. Anybody in the chat who's actually not subscribe to this channel, make sure you do that before you leave here. Subscribe to this channel.
Please do. Like the stream as well. That would help us out a ton.
Yes.
And if you came in halfway through the stream, again, you go to any podcast. I've heard that a couple, we're not on a couple, but it's fine. We're on all the big ones, podcast app. Make sure to go to your podcast app of choice, search us up, give us a download. You'll watch or listen to us over there if you missed any part of this recording it live. That'll be it for this week. We will catch you guys next week.
Peace.